Hi, I'm Bailey White and this is Undecided. Today on the show we're talking about the environment and climate change. A recent report out of Ottawa suggests that Canada is heating up at twice the global average. And some of the loudest voices on this issue are also some of the youngest voices. We have three guests today who have taken to the streets to demand action from political leaders. I'd like you to introduce yourselves.
My name is Allison John and I'm a grade 12 student at Holy Heart.
My name is Erin Lee and I'm also a grade 12 student from Holy Heart.
And my name is Chloe Pedester and I'm also a grade 12 student from Holy Heart.
So let's start down at this end. Chloe, when did you start thinking about the environment?
Thinking about the environment? Well, just throughout all of elementary school and since we've been very young, it's always been an issue that's kind of been, we've been informed about, but it's never something that's really been like pushed. I think in high school is when we really started paying attention and taking our own action.
Last year we had a grade 12 student start composting in our school. It wasn't that big of a system at the time. So this year, the three of us, we created an environmental club at our school because we wanted to expand on the club and also start to integrate different green kind of habits in our school and in our community. So the composting system now in our school is larger.
So Chloe said it's something that, you know, she first started thinking about in elementary school. Erin, was there like a turning point for you where you went, whoa, this is something that we need to be paying attention to?
Yeah, totally. Definitely within the last 2 years. I know the three of us, we started following, just in the media, we started seeing more news articles, and then of course the Fridays for Future movement became a thing, and it was just everywhere, and it kind of just set a panic within me, and I think I can speak on behalf of all three of us. It really just set a panic in all of us that something needed to be done now, especially regarding climate change.
When you say panic, what do you mean? Like what's the thought process?
Well, scientists have concluded that we only have 11 years left before climate change effects will be irreversible, so we need to act now, and there's really no time to waste because the time is only getting shorter.
And you're all nodding along. Like, Allison, do you feel that sense of panic?
Oh yeah, for sure. And even now, where we stand, we actually, our impacts, we're kind of gone past where we need to be. So we actually have to work to reverse what we've done currently.
And I don't think many people, especially adults, realize that when you hear 11 years left, I don't think people really realize that, and they don't believe it at first because it's so shocking, but it's incredibly true. The top scientists around the world have concluded that it's quite factual.
11 years from now, Chloe, how old will you be in 11 years?
In 11 years, I will be 29.
It's not very old.
It's not. I mean, like, I'll be 29 and I'm gonna be hearing that, like, my planet's going to die, and, like, if I have children, they're gonna have to deal with that as well, which is a really scary fact.
So this is the kind of stuff that you're thinking about, that you know, when you're a young adult.
Absolutely. Like, when I'm 29, I'll be starting a career, and that's just so scary to think about that's going to be happening around me if we don't make changes.
Yeah, and especially in Newfoundland, we're definitely more lucky here. Like, of course, we're seeing the effects of climate change. Our weather is definitely dynamic. Today was snowing and it's May.
Yeah.
So, however, there's other countries and even provinces in Canada that are definitely feeling climate change to a greater magnitude.
And Greta Thunberg, the founder of Fridays for Future, she puts it into a metaphor of we should be treating this as if our house is on fire. And because we're taught if your house is on fire, you get out and you can deal with the rest later. And I don't think our government is treating this situation as so. So it's definitely something to consider.
Fair to say that you three would agree that adults are not taking this seriously enough?
Absolutely.
Most certainly.
So, yeah.
I mean, there's obviously exceptions, but I think on a whole, it's not being taken seriously.
So we're coming up to a provincial election. What do you want to see from provincial leaders, Chloe?
I want to see climate action now. That's something we've been promoting a lot recently. We want them to start making direct addresses to what their parties are going to be doing to combat climate change instead of just saying, we support this, like, we're going to help you fight. We want to hear what they have to do.
So let's try something now. This is a game that I like to call Fantasy Premier. Fantasy Premier works like this. What I want to know is sort of like almost like a blind date, but nothing weird. Just what's your dream leader? What does a great leader have, and what would you like to see? Allison?
I'm going to say someone who's going to listen to people. And when I say people, that includes youth. So us youth, we're going to be the ones that are going to be trying to make sense of this mess that we're creating now on Earth. So, you know, my preferred leader is someone who's going to listen to me and listen to the needs of what we need as humans, as the human race.
I would love a leader who takes climate change and puts it as their first priority, because to me this is the main problem, the main global problem at the moment, and I think everything else after that will fall into place.
And I'd love a combination exactly of those two. Someone who's going to listen to youth, but someone who's also going to take climate change as seriously as they can and start making changes right away.
I think also in a lot of places in the world, climate change is almost like invisible. So that's why people aren't taking it as seriously. And specifically in Newfoundland, like we're not seeing it as detrimental effects as in other places, right? So that's kind of why it's put on the back burner for a lot of places, and in a lot of wealthier places that have the ability to do so. And of course, places around the world are feeling the effects.
Is anybody here actually old enough to vote?
I am as well.
I'm not. I'm a month away.
You're a month away.
Yeah.
First
really
time
excited.
voting.
You know, if you could speak directly to the Premier or to your MHA or to any adults who get to make these kinds of decisions, Chloe, what do you want to say to them?
You need to start listening to young people. You need to start listening to people who are concerned, and you need to start listening to science and really starting to make a strong stand to fight climate change.
Erin?
I would really like for them to recognize the fact that this is a crisis. It is a crisis, and we should be calling it a crisis. And I would really like for them to declare an emergency, a climate emergency.
I really think we need to take like a step back and kind of reevaluate where we're putting our money and kind of reevaluate our economy. So finding a certain portion to put towards green, sustainable energies, like subsidize or like funding research.
And I wonder what you think about the voting age. I mean, you seem awfully engaged. I think you know the issues. Would you like to vote? Would you like to see the voting age lowered?
Personally, I'd love to see the voting age lowered. I feel that at 16, I mean, you can drive a car. So I feel like you're at that age with proper research and if you're being informed, like if we're being informed at school, I think that it would make, like we are able to make those informed decisions. And I think it would help reflect like a younger generation's opinions more so.
Yeah, I think with that being said, if you do lower the age, you also have to consider like educating the youth so they actually know like what they're voting for and why they're voting. Because I know personally, the reason why, or the reason how I know like as much as I do about politics is my own research.
Right. So this isn't taught in school?
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Is that something you'd like to see?
I think so. I think a lot of teachers, especially in our school, we do have teachers that bring it up in class, especially like in history classes and things like that. We do have teachers that bring up these social issues and what's happening in our day-to-day life, because it is super important. And I do think there are many teachers who do recognize that, but still there are many people who don't have access to that, and teachers should definitely take that into consideration.
Well, I want to thank all three of you for stopping by the cafe here and chatting with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching. This is it for Undecided, because tomorrow is Election Day. So get a good night's sleep, stay hydrated tomorrow, take a friend, take the kids, take everyone you know down to the polling station and decide. And when you get home, tune into CBC. We're online, on the radio, and on television with all your results. Be white, and I'll see you on the other side.